Jared, Tyson will get mad at me if we start at 6:59.
Actually, by state law, I think you have to wait until 7. You can be late, but not early.
Good evening. The time being close to 7 o'clock. Beat the deal. We'd like to welcome everybody to the Tooele City Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, April 24th, 2024, here at City Hall. We'll start out item 1, the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll all rise and join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to excuse Chairman Hamilton and Commissioner Dunn, also Councilwoman Manzione and Councilman Hanson. Welcome, Chairman Brady. Thanks for joining us. Looks like we've also are joined by, no, we don't have Roger tonight. We'll just roll as if we know what we're doing. Roll call. Commissioner Hammer.
Here.
Commissioner Proctor. Here. Commissioner Robinson.
Here.
Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
And Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
I'm Vice Chairman Sloan stepping in for Chairman Hamilton this evening. Item number 3, a public hearing and decision request by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for a conditional use permit approval for a religious facility, the new seminary building, on property located at the northwest corner of Barra Boulevard and 2200 North in the R18 zoning district. Jared Hall.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here, and I'm stalling for time while I remember how to move this thing, so there we go. This is, as you said, a conditional use permit approval for a religious facility. Churches and religious facilities are allowed with conditional uses in the residential zones of the city. This is the subject property. We listed the address as the corner of 2200 North and Barra Boulevard. Barra Boulevard will be extended as a part of this project and some other things that are going on, extended northward. The zoning currently is R18. Around it, there's a lot of our R5 zoning and a little bit of, you can see just a little general commercial to the east. Mostly R5. Some of that will change in the future, probably, as different developments come in. But right now, most of that land is vacant and unused. But there are some housing developments to the south. This is the plan for the seminary building. This is just to the west of the high school that's being built, Deseret Peak High School. You can see the crosswalks across Barra and across 2200 North. Just to go over a couple of things that were in the review. The building kind of orients to Barra Boulevard, the main entrance here. There are classrooms, there's several restrooms, the office space. There's a parking area here, 15 parking stalls. This is an area where there's a little bit of lawn in the landscaping and a pavilion for some outdoor activities, time outdoors, that kind of thing. Most of the landscaping aside from that is, as shown here, xeriscaped, some boulders. There are some pergola columns in there to give some height and things. It's a nice look when it's all rendered. There is just a little bit of lawn along Barra here framing that kind of front entrance. It is an 0.88 acre site. The building is 9,204 square feet. About 50% of this site is landscaping when it's all said and done. 15 parking stalls. We feel like as staff is sufficient. Most of the kids that will be here will not be driving their cars, or if they did, their cars will be parked in the high school lot and they'll be coming across during the day. The most significant aspect of it that we kind of considered in looking at the site plan was the crossings of Barra Boulevard, et cetera. We'd like to recommend, as I think we put in the conditions there, that the applicants work with Public Works to see if there's something we can do to make those crossings more safe, if it's appropriate to raise them or color them differently or post signage near them, whatever might be appropriate. That brings up a point. This is the conditional use aspect, so we're looking at the use alone. We'd like to show you the site plan and the things that are going on so you can take those things into consideration as you look at what you want to do to mitigate any impacts. In that regard, we're talking about the crossings. We think you ought to have them. One condition be to talk with the Public Works folks to see what would be appropriate for the street. Other conditions that we have recommended as a part of our recommendation for approval we can go over in a moment. But I wanted to look at the elevations real quickly. The materials seem appropriate. It is a single-story building, so there's not a lot of height. This is the east elevation, facing the streets, facing Barra Boulevard, the main entrance. So kind of a renderings at perspective angles of that main entrance. Of course, there'll be landscaping all around this as well. And then the other two elevations, west and south. There is I want to go back 1 second, just one moment. I'm sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. This side, this part will show it as well. There is a light pole on the property. We've asked that as a condition, lighting on the property be down directed and be hooded. That's to mitigate any impacts from light that would be felt by the neighbors that are going to be. It doesn't have any neighbors currently, as you look at in that overview, but eventually there will be residential neighbors there, and we'd like them not to have light pollution across. It's a quiet facility. We don't feel like there's any need to limit the use of the facility. It's only going to be used during daytime and some evening hours, very rarely for different things. Shouldn't be a parking problem, so we have only suggested the following conditions, that during construction, these codes be followed, that we be able to continue working with them on a site plan. As I said, it's a conditional use permit review, but a site plan review is necessary as well, and that's underway right now with the staff, so we'll make sure that any technical problems are solved. And we'd like them to work with all of our, these conditions basically say to work with city staff and map out solutions to any problems, and also then to work with Public Works about those crossings to make sure those are safe, things like that. You have any questions for staff at this point?
Any questions from the commission for staff? I have one.
Sure.
And we're not to that point yet, but on your recommendation for working with the Public Works staff, can I assume, or maybe I'm just projecting, that you'd like something maybe a little more specific than them just come to a meeting and do nothing?
Well, yeah, for certain. But in truth, what I really want to see is just, and maybe what ends up being the case is that the crossings that are regular painted crossings and some signage saying, hey, there's a pedestrian crossing up ahead that we would normally do anyway, maybe that's all that's necessary. I just want to make sure they explore those possibilities with Public Works to see if there's anything else that might be appropriate to do. Raised crosswalks aren't always appropriate, so maybe that's not the case. But I'm not an expert in that. I'd rather have them talk to Public Works about it.
Certainly. Any questions? Seeing none, this one is a public hearing, so we'll go ahead and open that public hearing. Anyone from the public who wishes to come speak on this issue, please come forward. And before you leave, do we have the paper up there, or is it off to the side?
The paper, sorry.
Okay. In the event that you do come up and speak, find him and get your name and contact information down. Anyone wish to speak to this issue? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for comments, questions, action items.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the request for a conditional use permit application 2024-05 by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to allow a religious facility on the property on Bear Boulevard based on the conditions and subject to the findings and the conditions listed in the staff report dated April 19, 2024, with specific emphasis on the working with Public Works to determine the most effective and safest method for the pedestrian crossing.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, we have a motion from Commissioner Robinson, a second from Commissioner Jensen. Roll call vote. Commissioner Hammer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor?
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan also votes aye. Rule that passes 6-0. Item number 4, review and decision request by the Tooele County Housing Authority for preliminary plan approval of the Harvey subdivision, a single-family residential subdivision located at approximately 188 West, 600 North in the R17 zoning district. Mr. Ah.
Thank you. This is a relatively small subdivision. It's 6 lots on this corner here. The property right here, you can see it's been developed on the west side. This is the east side, 6 lots. Harvey subdivision for the Tooele County Housing Authority. R17 zoning. So these lots have been designed to meet the requirements of the R17 zone. They all do meet those requirements. We've been through that and made sure that all those lots conform. Staff has given okays to preliminary approval to engineering, Public Works, fire, and planning. We are looking at these. This is the full plat here, but again, this is the section that we're talking about, these 6 lots. Zoomed in just a little bit, and just to get an idea, if you're not completely finding 6 North and this location in your mind, 1000 North here, this is where 10th and Main development's going in that we just reviewed a few weeks ago. So these lots do all conform to the standards that we have. It's a preliminary because this little corner needs to be dedicated. That full street right away is in, but that little corner needs to be dedicated to create that radius, and so there is that public dedication part of this plat. We have to take it through preliminary. From here, if the Planning Commission grants approval tonight, the city staff will work with the folks at Tooele County Housing to finalize a plat, get a final plat ready for recordation, put everything in place, bonding, water rights, et cetera, and get it recorded. Do you have any questions? Our conditions are the pretty normal conditions for a preliminary plat. It's pretty clean for us.
Questions from the commission?
Just a comment, I'm glad to see this and it going in right there, especially across for the street where they did the other 6 lots. So
It'd be nice to
it's
complete the
good-
street.
It's good to see it come in there.
Any further questions, comments? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move we approve the request by Tooele County Housing Authority for the Harvey Preliminary Subdivision Plan Application P 22-1181 based on the findings and subject to the conditions listed in the staff report dated April 19th, 2024.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Proctor, a second by Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Hammer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor?
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
I'm Commissioner Sloan. I also vote aye. Rule that passes also 6-0. Item number 5. Mr. Chairman, do you have a report for us this evening?
I don't have much to report. Our previous meeting was canceled on April 17th. Several of the council members were down in St. George for a conference with the Utah League of Cities and Towns. Great conference, a lot of great things we learned that we'll bring back to our city and improve our city. Unless you have specific questions, I don't have anything else to report.
Any questions for the council? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Item number 6, review and approval of the planning commission minutes for the meeting held on March 27th, 2024.
I'll move we approve the minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Jensen, a second from Commissioner Hammer. Commissioner Hammer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Proctor?
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Commissioner Jensen?
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Sloan votes aye as well, leaving us with one final item, item 7. I will rule that we are adjourned at 7:11.
No.
No.